everybody, and welcome. My name is Dr. Richard Elelman. I'm the head of politics of EURECAT, the Catalan Technology Center, and it's my pleasure to be able to host today's conference. The title of this conference is From Twinning to Excellence Hub for Tunisian Farm Advisory System, and it constitutes the faster final conference of the European financed project FASTER. We will go straight into the content of the conference. We have a lot of eminent speakers to be able to talk to you. And the first person who will be talking is Marios Markakis, who's an experienced scientist with a PhD in biology. As a research policy officer of the European Commission, in the Directorate General of Research and Innovation, he serves the European Union by advancing research and innovation in Europe and beyond, whilst contributing to evidence-based policy making. This aims at creating a positive impact on our society, economy, and environment. Good morning, Marios. Welcome, and over to you.
Good morning, and thank you so much for the introduction. As you say, we try to advance economy, society, and of course the environment. And if you ask me, the most important part is the environment, and of course environment will serve the society and altogether the economy. So thank you so much for having me here. Actually, I would like to be there with you, but due to the COVID constraints nowadays, it's impossible to travel. Nevertheless, I promise next time I will not miss the opportunity to come and visit you. As you very well said, my name is Marios Markakis. I'm working for the Research Executive Agency, which is directly linked to the Directorate General of the European Commission, which is responsible for the research, science, and innovation, and of course, best known as DGRTD. The aim of our work nowadays is to promote the growth, to create new jobs, tackle the biggest societal challenges of our times. For example, COVID, human health, obesity, climate change, sustainable growth, energy, transport. And we do that by advancing research and innovation in Europe and beyond. We're always looking also after our partners. Of course, one of the best ways forward is to promote the spreading of excellence and supporting more widening participation. And actually, this is why we're here today. So, European Commission is doing a lot in the area of primary production. And just to mention a few things, I'm pretty sure that you're all aware of the Common Agricultural Policy, which touches upon all member states, but also upon many different partners around Mediterranean. You are also aware of the partnership of research and innovation in the Mediterranean area, the so-called PRIMA partnership, where it's very well positioned for sustainable management of the water and the agri-food systems in the Mediterranean basin. Tunisia is also a partner in there. You also heard nowadays the mission on healthy soils and food, the mission of the European Commission trying to elevate the importance of soils as a food production, and of course trying to restore degradation on soils. You might also heard about the policies on Food 2030, for example, where we try to future-proof our food systems, make sure that in the future we can provide for the citizens a sustainable production of food. As already mentioned, the European Commission is promoting the spread of excellence and the widening participation. And of course, we have many policies. FASTER project actually has many political objectives. And one of the objectives is to promote collaboration, support science, and create an excellence hub. And this is why we're here today, make sure that we learn from you, actually, and to have the right justification to promote the next generation of projects. To give you a very simple example, today, in fact, we are starting the evaluation of the widening participation of the Western Balkans, where we expect partners from Western Balkans to partner with different member states and promote research and innovation in Europe. I always say in Europe, but when I say in Europe, always we mean also partners around Mediterranean. We're also working in close collaboration with partners from United States, Canada, China, New Zealand, Australia. You also might heard the initiative on microbiomes, where we try to understand better on soil microbiome, gut microbiome, animal microbiome, so on and so forth. And there we try to bring international partners again to motivate and, of course, to elevate the significance. Now, myself, I'm an agronomist. I have a master in international horticulture and a PhD in biology, but I'm here to learn from you. And I'm here to learn and to get the right justifications to provide to our political leaders why these programs are very important. And of course, at this very moment, I also want to introduce our expert, which is Philippos Ververidis. Ververidis will act on behalf of the European Commission and advise us on how well you're doing. Actually, to make very clear, we are very confident that you are doing an excellent job. Just we want to make sure that everything's under control and you do have the best possible outcome of the project. Now, I don't want to talk too much. I wish you a very successful meeting. I'm going to be present the whole morning. I believe I will not be able to join you in the afternoon unless teleportation machine is existing somewhere around. But other than that, I'm very happy to be here with you.
Thank you very much, Marios. We are going to have a presentation of the outcomes of the FASTER project itself. And in order to do this, it's a pleasure to present Sihem Jebari. Sihem holds a PhD in water resources from Lund University in Sweden. Her original background is agricultural engineering. She's been working as a researcher at the Tunisian National Research Institute for Rural Engineering, Water and Forestry since 1999. Her research work is focused on semi-arid and arid areas. It involves water erosion modeling, human activities and climate change impacts on water availability, agricultural environment degradation, reservoir siltation, and transboundary water management. Apart from all of that, whilst participating in international projects, Sihem's research commitment has dealt with hydropolitics, security and international law, river basin adaptation plans, and participatory approaches, which is something which is very close to my own heart. Currently, she's investigating new methodologies and applying relevant techniques to enable the drawing of adapted scenarios for better integrated water resources management in the Mediterranean river basins. Welcome, Sihem, and over to you.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. I'm happy that you are so many to join us today for the final meeting. And I'm also happy to present the output of the project, and also the outputs of the project. My colleagues will definitely go in details. So I'll present the overview of the project and its outputs. So the FASTER project is entitled Farms Adaptation and Sustainability in Tunisia through Excellence in Research. We all know that climate does not know boundaries. It is nor linear, neither exactly cyclical. Nowadays, climate change consequences can constitute a brake on economic and the human development at different levels. So international collaboration, awareness of adequate solutions, use of new technologies, knowledge transfer, and also democratization of science are essential to face the main challenges and to hope for a better future. Actually, adaptation cannot be avoided anymore. It's necessary to impulse it, and the fact that we anticipate it can be more effective and less costly. FASTER project is an H2020 funding program. So it is coordinated by INRGREF, National Research Institute for Rural Engineering, Water and Forestry. Its duration covers 3 years. We are now finalizing it. The main objectives are related to strengthening the capacities and position of 3 Tunisian institutions, INRGREF and Institution of Research and Agricultural Higher Education in Tunisia, as well as the extension agency within the Ministry of Agriculture, reaching excellence in research and consolidating international quality standards in project proposals. The focus of the project is mainly to improve adaptation and mitigation of climate change in the agricultural sector, while considering land and water management. The main objective is to support excellence in research on adaptation to climate change and its transference into praxis. The keywords are mainly excellence, innovation, a farm advisory service, agricultural sector, management, adaptation, and climate change. The overall mission is to share the knowledge and experience of European Union partners with established scientific excellence in the topic. The project is actually structured in 6 packages, in 6 work packages. 3 of them are horizontal and 3 others are vertical. So the horizontals are related to ethic requirements, to coordination and management, as well as dissemination, exploitation, and communication. Meanwhile, we have capacity building workshop, work package. We have living lab, fast lab work package, and finally sustainability of excellence work package. We are 4 partners from Europe, CREA from Spain, Lund University, Sweden, EFB, United Kingdom, Vision, Spain, AVFA, IRESA, and INRGREF. The 3 of them are Tunisians. The achieved results are quite, many. So the research excellence of the associated partners were focused on land and water management, and of course ensured, partly of course. We can also find the institutional networking that improved the reputation of the national partners, their attractiveness and networking channels. They were open to all that all along the project period and activities. We also were trained to compete successfully for national, European Union, and international research funding. Now we know much better the research avenues, the new approaches that need to be considered, and we have increased our mobility of qualified scientists. Developing a knowledge transfer framework as well as supporting fast sustainability in Tunisia were also ensured. The first period of the project went actually very well. During the second period, we had some fears related to the sanitary conditions. The consortium put a contingency plan that was approved by the Commission, and adjustments were definitely needed to fulfill all the tasks and the deliverables of the project. During the different activities, we could mobilize participants to several kinds of trainings. 21 courses were provided, and we had about 500 participants. We organized events, for instance, for young technicians, and ensure mobility programs as well. 2 brokerage events were also organized. One during 2020 during the midweek events, and the topic was rural development through transfer of research excellence. The second one was during 2021 June for the 3rd Euro-Mediterranean Conference for Environmental Integration organized by Springer. And this was Living Lab as a tool for facing climate change effects on water, soil, and forestry resources. We also facilitated workshops for the networks established between a broad variety of professionals profile, and we mobilized about 650 participants. We also managed to set an operational living lab on fast services. We published about 15 published articles. Most of them are in impact factor journals. Here you can have a look on the frameworks provided by the project during which knowledge transfer is considered. Success stories, let's say, are related, for instance, to one of our project members, EFB, that has been appointed as an ambassador by the European Climate Pact Secretariat. INRGREF also could contribute to the first Mediterranean assessment report prepared by the network of Mediterranean experts on climate and environmental change, MEDEC. We are now part of the European Bioeconomy Network. Here again, you can see a great synergy characterizing the Living Lab stakeholders. This is happening within the study areas, which covers the north and the northwestern part of Tunisia. We think that the sustainability of the project is being very much considered because the project invested in capacity building, which is rather helpful to reduce economic, social, and human losses, as well as absorption of shocks, for instance. We provided several concrete adaptation solutions ready to be used and considered for the agricultural sector. Now we know the potential international alliances and initiatives to engage in, while also we are having being aware about the indicators of excellence to be considered by our own institutions. We have guidelines on new research avenues and approaches. Governmental agreements are being signed between the research institutions as well as the extension departments. Job bank for FAST, multi-stakeholder platform, and e-learning courses are now components within the Ministry of Agriculture, within the governmental departments, and being adopted by these institutions. again, so we are having a rich website. We produced several videos, and we also provided communication strategies for all the participants that were within the project. I mean, all along the period and the activities of the project. The final conference is also coming with 2 sessions. One is online, and which is like helping the participants to open up to international experiences and projects. Also, we have a physical session in the afternoon in Tunis that will present an exhibition for the project with an atlas that will cover all the solutions provided, the Excellence Hub, and also the video gallery. We are also organizing 2 roundtables and having testimonials from the participants. So now, I mean, in this stage, advanced stage of the project, we can say that we know very well what are our needs and what kind of opportunities we can consider in the future. So we think that in terms of scientific knowledge, we can produce more solutions needed for adaptation within our environment and for the government. We'd widen the experience of the Living Lab to more than the studied area considered for the project. We can see also that we can ensure concrete jobs for young engineers and technicians. We also miss somehow having private stakeholders within the consortium, for instance, which can be really something very interesting to have. For the opportunities, knowledge, I mean, implementing climate change adaptation solution within pilot farms would be really also very interesting for us. So providing demonstration and showing and displaying the main solution. Promoting e-learning platform in agricultural sector would also be very interesting part. Then create and diversify the Living Lab experience locally and regionally within the country. Involve and support the private sector within the research and innovation project, then increase employability. I'm finishing, and thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sihem. It's a very interesting presentation which you've made of a project which is obviously so necessary in these times of climate change in the Mediterranean and of course beyond. And I think that there are many lessons that we can learn from this project that can be transferred to other regions of the world as well. Now then, Faster the project has itself been producing a documentary on its activities, on its objectives, and on its results. And what we will see now is a short trailer regarding that documentary. Now we're going to move into a session where we're going to be looking at the results of the FASTER project, more than anything, the actual lessons which have been learned. And we're going to be listening to 3 work package leaders from the FASTER project, from work package 3, 4, and 5. I'm, as the moderator of the session, warning them that they have about 10 minutes to speak, each and every one of them. The first person who I'm delighted to present is Ronnie Benson. Ronnie, I hope I'm pronouncing your surname correctly. Ronnie holds an MSc in Civil Engineering at Lund University in the south of Sweden. He has a PhD in Spatial Hydrological Processes in a Water Resources Planning perspective, again at Lund University. He's a full professor and deputy director of the Center for Advanced Middle Eastern Studies at Lund. He has more than 35 years of experience in university teaching and research in water resources management, water supply and sanitation, socioeconomic hydrology, and climate change effects on sustainable development. He's acted as a UNDP consultant during several occasions regarding socioeconomic development and water issues. And at present, he is a coordinator of strategic research areas for the Multidisciplinary Center for Advanced Middle Eastern Studies at Lund University. Ronnie, welcome, and over to you to describe the results of Work Package 3.
Thank you very much, Richard, for a very kind introduction. So first of all, I will try to share the screen here, hopefully. So my name is, welcome everyone, and my name is Ronnie Benson. So I'm a professor in water resources engineering at Lund University. So first of all, we will be looking at work package number 3 that involves capacity building. And I will try to be brief because I think we are running a little bit late. Here is a short summary of the work package 3. So important keyword for this work package was capacity building, excellence in research, innovation in land, water, and forest management. And the lead organizations was Lund University and INRGREF from Barcelona University in Spain. And the involved organizations were all partners of the FASTER project. So that was INRGREF, AVEFA, EURECAT from Tunisia, INRGREF from Spain, Barcelona University, Europe for Business, Britain, and then Vision Consulting from Spain and Lund University. And the objective of this work package was to try to increase the human resources capacity for research and innovation, and then build a certain capacity for these researchers within the Tunisian partner INRGREF. And then especially to look at adaptation to climate change in land, water, and forest management, specifically looking at research skills, internationalization, innovation, and leadership to improve research excellence. And finally, also, we wanted to stress innovation capacity and scientific quality of the INRGREF institution. And basically, this was achieved within the work package through a series of focused and specialized training programs, and also mobility. And mobility involved short-term staff and PhD student exchange between mainly INRGREF and the INRGREF and Lund University. So the main activities were 4 parts, and first of all, we tried to design and deliver a multidisciplinary and cross-cutting training program. Then for planning and management of research according to international standards, such as responsible research and innovation, internationalization, innovation, outreach, and gender perspectives. Secondly, we tried to design and deliver specific research excellence training programs. So these were meant to provide a boost, indicators of performance output value, funding and procurement. So then also looking at trying to publish joint papers in international journals, try to develop proposal and applications, and then of course also networking and exploit the results. So thirdly, we arranged mobility, as I mentioned, so that meant short-term staff exchange for senior INRGREF researchers and PhD students to CREF and Lund University. And the meaning of this mobility was to try to develop research applications, co-sharing and co-supervising PhD students, and then also to try to publish papers in international journals. The COVID virus put an abrupt halt to the mobility after the first year, so to speak. So after the first year, we had to depend more on online techniques, but I will come back to this later on. But actually, I think that the online techniques actually boosted the outcome of the FASTER project. And finally, also we designed specialized courses on adaptation to climate change in land and water and forestry management, and also looking at innovative governance and showcasing the most relevant research for the Tunisian partners. So the impacts and achievements that we think that we have reached up to were, first of all, in the work package 3, the training courses and the training programs. So we had 3 sets of training courses. First of all, 5 basic and cross-cutting multidisciplinary trainings, 5 research excellent tool trainings, and then in the end, 2 specialized training programs, including 11 courses. So the first 2 items of these 3 parts were given physically, so to speak, during the first year, and then the last one, the 2 specialized training programs, had to be done online. So eventually we reached quite many participants, more than 470 participants to these courses, and we had an approximate average attendance of females to the courses, up to about 60-65%. For the mobility, during the first year, 3 researchers and 2 PhD students from Tunisia went to Spain and Sweden during short visits. That was during the first year, and then we had to resort to online supervision and collaboration for the remaining mobility. So 5 researchers and PhD students were supervised online. So what we have achieved so far also is publishing 3 journal papers in international journals with quite good impact factor of 4 and lower. We have 4 publications in review that we also hope to publish. We have produced 1 conference proceedings, and 3 PhD students have been co-supervised. And we also have established a long-term collaboration between INRGREF and CREF and Lund University through memorandum of understandings. And we think that the results of the project, including innovative solutions, have potential not only in Tunisia, but actually perhaps for larger areas in MENA countries and with similar climate and socioeconomic conditions. And these solutions, they are available on the e-learning platform. And finally, also we are working on research applications, both on national and European Union programs. So synergies, we have had lots of synergies within the consortium of the FASTER project. The work package 3 had to collaborate intensely with participants in the work package 4. Work package 4 involved development of labor lab facilities, also summer school and publication of an atlas for climate change adaptation in Tunisia, and finally also this e-learning platform. With other types of consortium synergies were the research excellence tools that we provide in the trainings, and they were partly supplied by Work Package 2 and Work Package 5 that included networking and institutional activities. And finally, also in Work Package 5, it has been developed a kind of research excellence hub for professional careers. So we think also, if you look at external synergies, we think that project results have introduced new directions in research and new avenues, partly through the memorandum of understandings between INRGREF and European partners, and also the shared PhD student co-supervision has led to many collaborative aspects. Many of the participants from Tunisia also took part in the 3rd Euro-Mediterranean Conference for Environmental Integration. So many participants presented papers in this conference. And then we also think that we have had a quite efficient transfer of knowledge, not only from north to the south, but as well from the south to north. And we are convinced that the European partners have learned quite much actually from this collaboration as well. So to summarize, we think that the training programs that were tailored specifically for the Tunisian partners were a key in the success of the FASA project. Also important was the multidisciplinary approaches, since we worked with land, soil, water, forestry, and very closely linked to agricultural development. It's very important for the processes to work from a multidisciplinary standpoint. And we think that this knowledge is relevant not only for Tunisia, but other areas in the MENA region as well. Also, we feel proud of that we had a high number of women taking part in the programs. We think this is important, especially for water and agricultural development. And then I'm coming back to the COVID problem and the COVID outbreak after the first year of the project had, of course, dramatic effects on the execution of the project objectives. But we feel that actually going to online techniques helped us to reach many more participants in Tunisia, and actually also a more intense collaboration between European partners and Tunisian partners. And I think this has helped to reach quite a sustainable outcome from the project. So thank you very much for your attention, and I give the word back to Richard.
Thank you very much, Ronnie. Very interesting results from Work Package 3. And I'd also like to highlight the gender factor. In studies that we've been carrying out over the last 3 years, there's no doubt that climate change, one of the great victims of climate change, is gender equality. And I think it's great news that you had up to 65% of the participants in the training sessions were women. So that's really something very encouraging. So congratulations for that. Now I'd like to pass the word on to the leader of Work Package 4, Annelies Brockerman. And again, I hope I'm pronouncing your surnames correctly. Annelies holds a degree in agricultural engineering at the University of Bologna, a PhD in agricultural economics at the University of Bologna as well, which is a very, very beautiful city to be able to study, and a master's in integrated water management at the University of Zaragoza. She's a consultant on water management policy analysis and a senior field expertise promoting innovative governance practices at local, national, and international level, with a particular interest in the Mediterranean region. In 2013, she joined the Water and Global Change Research Team at CREAF, with whom she has collaborated in 8 projects and national funding, focusing on the creation of multi-actor platforms for the co-design of adaptation solutions. Responsible for the implementation of innovative tools and methods in different case study areas, she uses lessons learned from developing competitive international projects. Annelies, welcome, and over to you.
Thank you very much, Richard. Thank you for this introduction, and I'm happy to be here today to present you WEAR Package 4's results. Sharing the screen, let's see if that works out well. Full screen mode. Can you correctly see everything?
Yes, we can see that fine, and we can hear you fine too.
Perfect. So I go directly to the nutshell. As WEAR Package 4 had a huge objective. The objective was to create a living lab, collaborative environment to really co-develop solutions to face adaptation to climate change, engaging farm advisory system in Tunisia, including a broad map of actors from representing the whole value chain from the agricultural sector in Tunisia. So this is a very ambitious goal, and actually we are very happy to say that it was possible to put in practice a lot of transfer of knowledge and mutual learning, sharing state-of-the-art knowledge from academia, from research institutes into real-world settings. No? So really getting into land, water, forestry, and governance fields together, and working out information together with a multi-stakeholder platform. So to do that, we developed a whole set of activities. At first, yes, we created this environment, no? The Living Lab. It's a local living lab focused on northwest Tunisia. And the aim is so to share knowledge between research excellence representatives, so PhD researchers, professors, early career, and people engaged from the agricultural sector, and also engaged in transmitting knowledge. So the farm advisory system, otherwise also called extension service, is a key service to transmit and bridge between different knowledge. So the Living Lab was a starting point for capacity building in a mutual way. So as another activity to procure background information and to have spot on concrete solutions for adaptation to be transferred and discussed, we organized a summer school program addressing farm advisory system agents and technicians. So during this summer school, it was possible to introduce them to this up-to-date knowledge and have some capacity building on background issues. And we developed also a multi-stakeholder platform, of course, to ensure this engagement in the Living Lab process, including a broad map of actors with a multi-profile and multidisciplinary focus. We also developed an e-learning platform for capacity building on the tools and dynamics of needed to reach research excellence, but also, as Ronnie already introduced, on applied land and water management solutions, innovative governance, and enabling skills, let's say, to communicate properly with farmers, which is not easy. We did a lot of work on multi-profile communication because we all sometimes have specific languages and it's important to overcome the barriers of meaning. So during COVID contingency, this platform was actually very useful. It's a repository, it's a MOOC, so people can take courses there, all the material is stored. But actually in the framework of the Living Lab, this worked as an interaction tool. So it allowed people to share documents, to have discussions online, to follow each other's work. And so it was extra integrated with this, this space, this virtual space for Living Lab actors, especially overcoming these physical barriers between the international partners and the local Tunisian, but also in Tunisia, there were actors from such a broad region of the 3 governorates, so northwest region of Tunisia. So it also helps to overcome this. Finally, some of the products, between others, is the set of fact sheets and video tutorials which are included in this communication effort of key messages to, at the end users are the farmers, but we focused a lot on making material useful for farm advisory agents as to be able to transmit the key messages. So on the impact, we are very satisfied on the impact as we were able to engage over 200 different people, so over 200 participants in the process that took 3 years to develop. And all this knowledge sharing was crystallized into 6, oops, I lost my presentation. Okay, I try to recover.
That's all right. Can you see me again? That's okay, because your discourse is very, very clear and lucid anyway. So don't worry.
Okay, let's see if I can get back. Here I am. Do you see me correctly?
Yes, we do.
Okay, fair. So all this knowledge sharing was crystallized in 60 fact sheets. So concrete solutions included in a general publication, in a compilation, which we called the Atlas for Adaptation to Climate Change in Tunisian Agriculture. So all these fact sheets were co-designed with the whole set of actors involved in the process. As I anticipated, one communication campaign addressing concretely farm advisory agents with a whole set of tools and materials included, 2 summer school programs, and this e-learning platform actually includes a whole set of 44 courses which are organized in 4 modules, and the 4 video tutorials which explain these concrete solutions. So it's these tutorials are to provide people with an overview of the set of fact sheets in a very, let's say, user-friendly way. So I think we achieved to boost open innovation in the agricultural sector of Northwest Tunisia, and really were able to transfer science into real-world settings. I think this is key. A lot of people are speaking about science into policy, science into practice. And I think the Living Lab setting really contributed doing so. And how? Because we were able to establish new networks between this broad variety of professional profiles. I think we were able to contribute to improving communication skills and capacity building for farm advisory agents, and ultimately, thanks to their daily work, to address tailored support for farmers who are actually facing the impacts of climate change, which is not a minor issue in the region. So on synergies, work package 4 was very intensely collaborating with all the other work packages. And absolutely, the first thing I would like to remark is that the know-how, the contributions and the know-how of the local partners, the whole set of local partners in Tunisia, enabled the developing the Living Lab. So they really provided a lot of information that from our perspective was impossible to reach. Just as Ronnie said, it was a very learning and enriching experience for us to develop the project. So the training sessions delivered in Work Package 3 were key, set the basis for the summer school programs. And of course, Work Package 6 on communication helped us in every step to deliver the key messages to the target audiences. And the e-learning tool is fostering, of course, also engaging participants into the Foster Excellence Hub, because the broad set of partners, of participants that were engaged in the process all logged in already in the e-learning tool. So they all are getting acquainted with these virtual formats of collaborative engagement and collaboration. External synergies were very much stressed with the Living Lab design and engagement strategies as networking and representation activities that were more part of work package 2 and 5 really were very useful to set up this broad map of actors. We also seeked and happily today we have a representative of the New Wave project. So we were able to establish concrete collaborations with other projects, also working on knowledge transfer and innovation in governance, such as New Wave project. We have Katarina with us today, she will explain more. But in the framework of this project, there is a set of e-lecture series that we are also able to include in the e-learning modules. So I would like to stress that these e-learning modules are open to be a bridge to reach the Tunisian target audiences. And of course, the Living Lab setting is innovative, but there are different initiatives promoting this approach to open innovation. So we were able to link up specifically to 4 other Living Labs in the field of innovation in agriculture. And in more general terms, we were engaged in the European network for Living Labs. So able to exchange also information on the setting itself. Lessons learned is, we really learned a lot. So just to synthesize here, I think that the approach, the open innovation approach and the Living Lab setting is really key to enable effective adaptation, because we saw that parties really genuinely welcomed the initiative, that they were able to make these new networks and to speak with each other and to have this multidisciplinary approach. And it is not a common thing, actually, in current professional settings and workflows to have this open approach. So that I think that the capacity building programs really sustained and supported this new form of collaboration and communication. It needs a huge effort, though, to establish this multi-stakeholder platform, and especially to maintain activities and interest high. So communication, public relations, and organization of events was actually a task that we invested really a lot of efforts into, especially the local team in Tunisia. And I remarked this contact with the real world and its conditions and understanding the constraints is key for this kind of initiatives. So also we could see that virtual collaborative formats are fantastic. It allows us really to overcome a lot of barriers and are inclusive, although proper access to internet still is a challenge in many regions, and many people had to make efforts to access actually these formats. And all by all, to conclude, I think that the open innovation allowed these new relations to be built, and this is key and fruitful, both for research excellence and for new proposals and interactions to be delivered. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Annelies, and some very, very important lessons that you've learned from your work package, not only with regards to the multidisciplinary approach, not only with regards to the fact that communication is absolutely essential between the research sector and all the other sectors, so that the research sector itself becomes a socio-political actor, but you've also demonstrated very clearly that sometimes it's not necessary to have slides and to have a PPT presentation, because you gave a very good and very clear explanation without the use of those. So that's wonderful. Well done and congratulations. Now we go on to work package 5, and we have 2 presenters here for work package 5. The first one is, and again, I apologize for my pronunciation of the surnames. The first one is Zied Boulkhashi, who holds a degree in marine environmental engineering at the National Agronomic Institute of Tunis in Tunisia. With over 17 years of experience in technical and vocational education and training at national and international level, he's been in charge of international cooperation coordination at the Extension and Agricultural Training Agency of Tunisia, or AFA, for the last 7 years. And he's joined by Thoraya Swasi, who holds an MSc in plant pathology and a PhD in weed science at the University of Missouri from the United States. She's a professor at the National Institute of Agronomy of Tunisia. She's the Director of Pedagogical Affairs at the Institution of Agricultural Research and Higher Education, which is EURECAT, where she leads and coordinates projects on quality assurance and reforms of academic programs in agricultural higher education. Swasi's main area of research is integrated weed management in field crops, with an emphasis on developing weed biocontrol methods in order to reduce herbicide use in crops and the evolution of herbicide resistance in weed species. So I would like to welcome both Zaid and Thoraya and hand it over to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you. I'm glad here to present today the main activities of the work package 5 with my colleague Zied. So I will start by presenting the activities, and then I give the parole to Zied for the rest. So the work package 5 leader 5 is a package that is dealing with the climate change, some keywords, adaptation, operational fast FAS Living Lab, job bank, FAS database, networking tools. So mainly this work package is the leading organization is ABEFA and the INRGREF, and all the involved partners are involved in this work package. So the objective is to develop and provide the necessary monitoring networks, guidelines, and tools to maintain the expected achievement in excellent research. So it's basically dealing with excellence in research and how to ensure this excellence. So such a framework will allow INRGREF as well as other research institutions of the whole system of agriculture, research and higher education to set up and continue growing their capabilities and experience, and of course also their abilities to do good research. To achieve this objective, so we conducted 5 major activities. We measure the indicators of excellence. We built an international networks. Also, we look at finding new research avenues and approaches, providing governmental support to farm advisory services, and developing a faster excellence hub that give opportunities for FAS young professionals to find a job and interact with recruiters. So the following. So in my next slides, there are the main activities, which are, so the first activity is about the measurement of key performance indicators. And so a set of KPIs were chosen based on the experience and the expertise of project partners in order to monitor the improvement of INRGREF research excellence in water, agriculture, forest, fishery, to adaptation to climate change. for instance, as indicators could be that the research background, the number of publication, collaboration, transferences, the number of seminars. So all these KPI will be eventually used by institutions to set up, to develop their own strategy and priorities in research. The second activities aimed to foster the international networks with key institutions and research working on water management and land and water management. This is has objectives to enhance collaboration and knowledge transfer among institutions. Within this activity to be achieved, we used as a method a mix of bibliography and questionnaires with different stakeholders, and based on the result of these questionnaires, a mapping of current and potential international research alliances and initiatives were performed. Let's say about 18 initiatives, between research institutions, governmental bodies, and other actors, has been found out. The third activities is then we look at on finding new research avenues and approaches which will serve as a basis to develop research proposals in the future, to set up student projects and theses, and also for academic publication. And then, also for this, to find this new research avenue, we based on current literature, work tables organized with different stakeholders and questionnaires. So guidelines were developed on future research. And these guidelines included the most stimulating and integrating field of research to guide the future efforts of INRGREF and other institutions. So among the guidelines for the future research, these include key role of agricultural lands in sustainability, as providers and regulators of ecosystem services. Also, as a guideline, there is the need for holistic and interdisciplinary studies and multi-sectorial and clustering initiative to put ideas into action. So all these participatory approaches, collaborative and coordination between the different actors. The potential of living labs and other kinds of local and innovative projects, while innovation hubs are necessary to planification at higher scales, and educated and conscious society facilitators to put in practice new idea, and farmers association are the perfect first step to do so. So this is, I believe, will help developing proposals and research in the future. As fourth activities, and regarding the support of governmental bodies, whether at the regional or national levels, so we performed a state of art of current policies, strategies, governance, and trends related to land and water management to face climate change. And based on this state of art and this diagnostic, so we could develop suggestions and a proposal how to improve and to, in order for this governmental bodies to support research excellence and AFS services. So among, for instance, among these guidelines, I can cite, for example, the implementation and the deployment of the living lab concept within the system. And the development of competencies and skills about this concept among the different actors. Also, we in order to we signed a memorandum of understanding between the three institutions, AVEFA, INRGREF, and EURECAT, involved all of them, whether in research or the transfer of technology, in order to consolidate already existing cooperation between these three institutions in water and in research and technology transfer, innovative solution on adaptation to climate change. The last main activity was the development of the Faster Excellence Hub through 5 major steps, starting by profiling the definition, which identified the main topics, different categories of the users, followed by the job bank development of the job bank workflow, the networking tool workflow that aimed to foster the inter and cooperation among the users. Then this networking and job bank was linked to a faster e-learning platform to give the users the opportunity to expand their knowledge and regarding farming advisory services. And at the end and following the Horizon Europe Work Programme 2021-22 about widening participation and strengthening the European research area. So EFB was able to integrate the job bank, the networking tool, and faster capacity building, e-learning into a unique hub of excellence, developing this way the Faster Excellence Hub. Now I give the power to my colleague Zied to give you to speak about the impact achievement and learned lesson from these results and activities. Zied.
Thank you, Soraya. So from the side of AVEFA, which is a government body specialized in knowledge transfer with all our partners, we succeed to enhance capacities of INRGREF and other research institutions affiliated to EURECAT to develop future research proposals and publication with likely high impact, which we look for is to have this social impact, environmental impact, technical impact directly on the field to touch directly the farmer. And this gives us the possibility to boost holistic interdisciplinarity and multi-sectorial initiative to create innovative solutions to face climate change. This is also impact the international visibility of Tunisian researchers and farmer advisory services agent, which give us the possibility already to push this picture of working in international and have the possibility to get this specific social impact on the ground, strengthening especially the capacity of the Tunisian agriculture research institution and knowledge transfer to reach excellence in research on adaptation to climate change, and to answer directly to the need of the agriculture reality, using already new tools developed to facilitate employment of youth and young professionals and the interaction with the recruiter. raising already common network and project development, linking the continuum of knowledge to have, as I said, this specific direct impact on the agriculture, to fit it to the agriculture reality. Matching the number of consortium and the projects between researchers, farmer advisory services, and research and innovation companies in agriculture field. Due to this fact, we have more than 8 projects already were written in consortium between INRGREF and AVEFA, with already 2 projects are already conducted. One is Wild Food and Espace. Both are European funding and different programs. But this gave us the possibility to raise collaboration between researchers world, farmer advisory services world, and the agriculture reality, and really faster give us the possibility to find common tools to really work together, to better work together for better on-field impact. Okay, the next, please. So for the consortium synergy, the synergy between the faster job bank linking different working package, work package 5, and the networking tools developed under the frame of working package 6 and faster e-learning platform for the work package 4, rise this excellence hub on which we have the possibility to really have this specific synergy and to push international networks, which is really established with the key institution and knowledge transfer bodies and the church working in adaptation to climate change inland and water management. For external synergies, the EuroAccess Tunisia was already launched from June 1st of 2021. The Excellence Hub contains several opportunities coming from EuroAccess, creating an additional bridge between EuroAccess and Tunisian researchers and farmer advisory services. So the national Tunisian job also in the interaction with different organization, different technical, vocational, and education training, farmer advisory service training schools and organization, university and higher education institution for better knowledge transfer and dissemination. Lessons learned. So please, the next one. A multi-stakeholders engagement, how to motivate and link them with field reality, good internal and external communication with evaluation of research achievement commission members and the professional organization and farmer advisory services. A sense of ownership and responsibility is well developed via a good extension plan, a membership, a good representative of living lab beneficiary, and we involved already here the cooperative and non-government organization to work together with the public organization to have this magic touch of the efficacy of the living lab. A better communication with the end user using several nurture professional meeting, using living lab concept and other additional communication tools well developed by our partner. Empowerment and awareness of advisory board. So we ensure the sustainable knowledge continuum, government support, and the final signature of this MOU is one of the key indicators that the process is well fluent now, and we have the possibility to rise it, to empower it, and to enhance better the networking between different stakeholders in the living labs and consortium. So I think we already have this magic task to learn more how to rise the collaboration between the research world, the FAS world, and the agriculture reality, and how to push this process for better compliance with the project designed according to the real stakeholder need. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Saeed and Thuraya. and my congratulations to the whole of the consortium of FASTA. I think that very often projects should be judged, the results of the projects should be judged, one, by their capacity to demonstrate continuity once the project is finished, and also how many new projects are based on the results and the findings of the project in question. And I'm convinced that FASTA tick both those boxes. I think that you've established structures there which will guarantee continuity of the results of your investigations over the last 3 years. And I think also as well that you will be the source of new projects which will not repeat what FASTA has done, but instead actually builds on your findings to further develop the multidisciplinary approach which is so necessary at the moment, both in the Mediterranean and also on a global scale. So congratulations to all of you. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the FASTA Consortium for having organized such an effective meeting where we've had a lot of information given to us in a short period of time, but with some very, very important central messages, which I think are worth remarking. I would like to congratulate both Chiara and Matteo from EFB for their organization, and of course also thank Vision Communication for their extremely effective technical support here. And so it comes to me in 5 minutes, very briefly, because I'm sure people are already beginning to think, it's lunchtime. So I will be very, very brief and just make a few concluding remarks. As we all know, climate change is a fact. We can talk about both mitigation and adaptation to the new circumstances, to the new challenges which we face in the 21st century. There is nothing more important than climate change. And unfortunately, the Mediterranean is a region which demonstrates all of the problems which can result from climate change, but also demonstrate and lead the way in the application of solutions. Climate change is not just a biological or ecological or environmental crisis. As a former politician and as a political scientist, I've always recognized that it is also a socio-economic and political crisis. Climate change can lead to a vast increase in enforced migration, not only from rural areas to urban areas, but also from one country to another. And we have seen already, shall we say, a preview of what may happen with the inhumane and tragic events that take place every day on the shores and on the seas of the Mediterranean. Climate change has the possibility of becoming a source of conflict, interregional conflict and international conflict. This is something that we must understand and we must prepare for. And also climate change is an extremely important factor, disgracefully, in the increase of gender disequality. These are factors that, again, must be addressed. The WEFE nexus as a whole, water, energy, food, and the environment, as well as what we call WEFE plus H, as well as health, have become factors which will determine how future generations will live not only in the Mediterranean, but around the globe. As I think everybody has demonstrated this morning very, very clearly, multidisciplinarity is absolutely essential, and multidisciplinarity must also be linked closely to what we call the quintuple helix, the public sector, the private sector, the research sector, citizens and the environment, and indeed cultural sectors working together in a very, very close dialogue. The age of silos and the age of specialization has to a certain extent come to an end. What we're looking for now is for capacity building whereby all sectors can work together in a very much equal dialogue where we include the youth, where we include minority groups, where we include all of the social sectors that are not only going to be benefiting, but are also affected by the actions which you, the scientists, very often begin. Scientists yourselves, you have a responsibility to learn how to communicate. And this has been very excellently demonstrated this morning by everybody who's intervened in this conference, that communication is essential, not only to your peer group, but also to the hitherto non-informed layperson. So I wish you good luck on all that. I would invite you as well to attend the conference, the link to which I have already placed on the chat, which is called the Cassandra Conference. And the Cassandra Conference is going to be dealing specifically with the effects of climate change on migration, conflict, and gender equality in the Mediterranean. It is being supported by the United Nations, by the World Bank, by the OECD, by the European Commission, by the European Parliament, by the Union for the Mediterranean. But more importantly, we also give an interactive voice to institutions such as Médecins Sans Frontières and, for example, Proactiva, Save Arms, who are actively involved in trying to save the lives of people who are crossing the Mediterranean, very often in extremely precarious and tragic circumstances. So I would invite you to that, because all of the work that you have described today provides solutions to the much more critical social and economic circumstances that we're going to be facing over the next 20 years. COP26 is just around the corner. As a political analyst, and as I said before, as a former politician, I'm not totally optimistic about the results of COP26, as indeed I wasn't very optimistic about the results of former COP events. However, that does not mean that we should resign ourselves to our fate. And it is scientists such as yourselves who must lead the way and who must accept your roles as well as socio-political actors in order so that society itself can advance, and that perhaps one day in the future, conferences such as this, projects such as this will not be necessary, because we live in a sustainable world. Inshallah, ojalá, I hope that this one day is true. Thank you very much to everybody for listening, and good luck in your future endeavors. Thank you very much.